I love mushrooms.
Yeah, baby.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to Magical Mycelium.
Oh, human. Is that mycelium?
So what is today's theme? It's fungi. That's right, I've gone full mushroom cult.
Mushrooms, really?
To me, mushrooms are medicine and sacrament. They nourish, they heal, but sometimes they kill.
Slay me, mushroom daddy.
They are neither animal nor plant, but wholly onto themselves. I find them both awe-inspiring and terrifying. For this vlog, I read 3 mushroomy masterpieces, so let's dive in. The first book I read is Mycocosmic by Leslie Wheeler. Spoken in Spores. This is a grief-soaked, fire-forged, and quietly luminous poetry collection. The incantory spell-like poems bloom in the ash of grief and mental unraveling. Wheeler writes with a mycologist's precision and a witch's knowing. Family trauma and personal rebirth form the compost from which these poems sprout. Each line is like a hyphae threading into a shared web of survival. The true marvel of the collection is actually the poem beneath the poems. This is called, so look at the bottom, and you can see there's these lines underneath all of the poems, and this one is called Underpoem Fire Fungus, and it's an essay in verse that creeps across the bottom of each page like mycelium, feeding the collection's hidden logic of transformation. It was probably my favorite poem of the bunch, but it does take some effort to read. This book is in itself a mushroom. It metabolizes suffering and makes meaning from it. I'm going to read you one of the poems. There are some poems here that feature the tarot, which is another hyperfixation of mine, so I'm going to read you one of them. This one is called Flammable Almanac. I pick up the cards as a kind of game, because the pages of my calendar are salt. A char-cloaked man who spilled 3 cups hunkers in me, unable to budge. The air smells like smoke. Put your toes in the water, Temperance says. I know you're discouraged, but the only way you will ever arrive is to get your feet wet. Berry bulbs. One day there will be lilies in your pocket. So I armor up and ride across a desert, upside down, wander erect, so inflamed my horse is blushing. There may be nowhere to go, but I move fast through and past summer, my hands learning the meanings as the meanings learn me. An ashy history flows into an egg yolk tomorrow. Autumn I become the king of pentacles. Ivy climbs the ground, the chair and fruits all over my clothes. When the psychic said, "Good things come to you through fire," I thought he meant my whole world had to burn. Now I know the fire reddens inside me, every paper window incandescent. I enjoyed this poetry collection, but like I said, especially the underpoem. The next book I read is The Fungus by Harry Adam Knight. That is a pseudonym for 2 male authors. You are the mushroom now. When a well-meaning scientist tries to end world hunger with giant mushrooms, she accidentally launches England into the world's first fungal apocalypse.
Mycelium spread across the universe.
Spores escape. Mushrooms go Godzilla mode. London becomes a mossy horror show. And yes, a foot fungus can now eat your entire leg. The lucky ones die quickly. The others, they become oozing, squelching mushroom mutants, complete with bonus limbs and a craving for dampness. This 1985 cult horror is a blend of B-movie absurdity, goopy body horror, and surprisingly enthusiastic mycology. The fungus is disgusting. The plot is deranged. Science goes too far. Mushrooms go too hard. And England becomes a salad. I thought this was just okay. The just okay part was awarded for the plot idea, and they did execute the body and fungal horror really well. I had to put the book down every now and again because it did make me extremely squeamish. However, the book was so male gazy. Every woman was objectified. There were so many sex scenes that were really ick, and there was on-page grape, which I felt was entirely unnecessary. That aside, the whole vibe of the book did remind me a lot of Don't Smell the Flowers. It's a bit absurdist. There's a lot of military stuff going on, and then it does end quite abruptly. But it is horrific. It is very uncomfortable to read, and I did enjoy, I want to say enjoy, I did find it interesting to see how each different type of fungi affected their human host. The last book I read for this is Mycelium Wassoni by Brian Bloomberth. Psychedelics Pioneers and a Mushroom Rave in Comic Form. This is a tripped out graphic biography of Ara Gordon and Valentina Wesson, the couple who brought psychedelic mushrooms into the global spotlight, and it is rendered in Brian Bloomworth's gloriously chaotic Technicolor comics style. This isn't just history, it's a psychedelic love story that hops across continents and consciousness, weaving together ethnomycology, the CIA weirdness, Life magazine spreads, and ancient mushroom rituals. From Siberia to Mexico, Blomworth's hallucinogenic line work captures the strange dance between science, mysticism, and fungi-fueled revelation. They have created a psychedelic graphic novel that is the love child of a biology lecture and a rave flyer. And it kind of slaps. You will learn, trip, and giggle at the same time. It is educational, absurd, reverent, irreverent, and of course, psychedelic.
Mushrooms. You're on psilocybin mushrooms right now?
Listen, the illustrations in this book are to die for. I'm just going to show you some examples. The color story in this is just spectacular. Even the more mundane pages. I absolutely just loved looking at every page, especially the ones that are a bit more rainbow or colorful. It's also on this absolutely beautiful matte paper, which is really beautiful feel on the hands. The story itself is quite light. It's just touching upon the events and there's very minimal facts. However, there is, just seriously guys, the illustrations this are absolutely stunning. There is an introduction written by Paul Stamets, who is the Mushroom Man, which gives you a lot of background context and helps to flesh out the gaps that are present because of the limited ability to tell the story. This is mostly a image-based book. There is also a language in here that the author has created for the mushrooms. So you can see, like, look in the little corner below, and you can, if you want to, decipher it and find out what the mushrooms are saying. I don't know, maybe I might try. Sci-fi stuff isn't really my jam. But for those of you who want a challenge, you can find out what the shrooms are saying. I found it quite fascinating. I didn't know anything about this couple. They did also acknowledge the damage that this couple's publications had on the Indigenous communities they visited. And also they were transparent in that they were backed by the CIA financially. But otherwise, I had a really fun time. Absolutely stunning. I might see what else this author has illustrated because I really fuck with these style of illustration and the colors. So to sum up all of the Shroomy books I read for this reading vlog, I thought I would encapsulate them. I thought I would sum them up by assigning them a specific mushroom that I think fits their vibe. So we'll start with Mycelium wassoni, and this one has to be Psilocybe cubensis. I personally ingest Psilocybe seborrheigosa. That is what grows locally and what I forage, and that is what allows me to continue to have the will to live. I do use it as medicine for my mental health, and I take 1 heroic dose a year, and it keeps the depression, anxiety, and OCD to a minimal level. It just calms the negative chatter and allows me to live my life.
Mushrooms help me break free.
So yes, I've chosen the quintessential magic mushroom, aka the classic psychedelic shroom, for this book, because this book is 100% a psilocybin mushroom. It's trippy, educational, and likely to make you say, wait, is that Raven talking to me right now? It's sacred, strange, and beautifully illustrated like a hallucinatory biology textbook. It's perfect for wandering into the woods and meeting a deity named Doug. For Mycocosmic by Leslie Wheeler, I would choose the Pyronema omphalodes. This is the fire fungus or the fire lover. It's an ode to the underpoem. It's a saprotrophic pioneer species that thrives in the aftermath of wildfire, appearing in pink-orange clusters on scorched earth. It only appears after destruction. Just like the poems in Mycocosmic, they emerge from family trauma, mental health collapse, and loss. And like Wheeler's poetry, it reshapes what remains. And then for the fungus, by Harry Adam Knight. I'm going with cordyceps, aka the zombie fungus, the parasitic nightmare mushroom. Cordyceps infects insects and puppeteers them to death. And the fungus is like that, but for London. It is chaotic evil, and this is a mushroom with gore in its gills and no concern for your digestive ability. And that concludes my fungal descent into madness. I have learned that mushrooms are teachers, parasites, cosmic librarians, and occasionally terrifying flesh mutators. Tell me what your favorite mushroom is down below. And until next time, stay moist and trust the fungus.
Mushrooms flourished.
Before I tell you about today's perfume, I'm going to do a little outfit change. Okay, today's perfume is Electric Wood 1015. It opens with a very curious contrast. You have spicy and dry. The nutmeg is warm, almost like opening a box that hasn't been touched since the 70s. The heart notes are cedar wood. It is wood on wood, but not polished. These woods do smell raw, like splinters in a well-used guitar neck, or the back of an amp cabinet. The cedar is sharp, and this adds a bit of sensuality to the perfume. The ambroxan adds the skin-like metallic shimmer, and the iris brings an unexpected softness, like a suede. This is definitely for lovers of woody aromatic scents with a slightly bohemian edge. This literally smells like playing guitar in someone's basement. So the book that I have paired with this perfume is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It captures the raw, glamorous, messy beauty of music, artistry, and personal reinvention. The scent of polished wood, old amps, and musky skin is practically the backstage vibe of Daisy and Billy's chaotic, passionate world. Both the fragrance and the novel romanticize the tactile, imperfect world of making music and chasing the electric highs of performance. Now, my original activity for this vlog was to take you to a mushroom farm in Melbourne, but that is an hour drive. It is an hour's drive away, and at the moment, petrol prices are through the roof and the stock market is incredibly volatile, thanks to possibly World War III. So I don't want to be too far from home, and I don't want to use a lot of petrol at the moment until whatever this thing is that's going on is finished. I don't know which way it's going to go. I am hoping for as little lives lost as possible. But yeah, there seems to be big egos at play and a lot of... And at the end of the day, mate, people in power make money from war. So where there's money to be made, human lives are not really considered. So instead, I'm just taking you out with me while I run errands. I am going to go to a very bougie supermarket that has a lot of varieties of mushrooms. So I will go and see what mushrooms are available, and I might saute them up with some garlic and some thyme and some butter and have that be the mushroom portion for this vlog. But yeah, I've got to go and pick up a book from the bookshop. I've got to visit the library. I need to buy thigh-high stockings because I really want to wear this outfit on Friday with suspenders, and I need something to click the suspenders onto. And yeah, so we're just going to be going out and about in the suburbs today. So that will be the vlog portion. Oh yes, the one with the illustrator.
I have eaten some mushrooms.